Hello all, welcome to another endgame study of the Solving Other Studies to Improve Chess Calculation series. This one becomes hard from the beginning because when I need to spell or to pronounce the names of the composers, it's very hard. It's Alexander Maksimovskikh and Viktor Shupletsov. I hope not making a very big mistake about it. Well, it's a study for white to play and to draw. As always, I suggest you watch the guide so you are better prepared for the practice. Then the 10-minute countdown, the main one, will start, and after that, I catch you up to begin the guided solution. And let's go for the solution. Well, the position is not that hard to understand. Black is threatening to promote one of the two pawns to a queen and go for a fast win over here. We also have a pawn, but of course we are just playing for a draw. So at the moment, our effort is to avoid that black can do something about those pawns threatening to promote. So the first good move is, of course, to pin the B pawn. So the idea is if now black promotes to the queen the other one, like we can simply checkmate black. So would be fun, but not, of course, the correct going on from black. Over here, if we try to approach the pawn, the other pawn, it's going to be a mistake. The idea would be if the B pawn promotes to bring the bishop 10 and then grab the queen and after the other pawn. But of course, first black sacrifice with the promotion, so forcing us to grab the queen, and only after goes for the promotion, checking. And of course, with a queen and a bishop, it's not possible for white to stop this one, and it would be black to win. So over here, the correct one, it's very simple, I think. It's to go with bishop c3, pinning one pawn, and of course, black can't go for a queen with the other pawn. So without that option, black goes but for a knight, and it's check. So first moment for us, up another minute, and pause if you need more, and then I catch you up to go on with the solution. And over here, the question is, should we go with the king to d2 or to d1? And the correct one is to go to d1. Let's see what happens if we go to the other square, to d1. Well, over here, black just plays the knight to d3. Of course, now it's white to play. We are not able to sacrifice the bishop, otherwise black would keep the knight and the bishop, which against one pawn it's very easy. It just needs to grab the pawn and then we'll need to checkmate, but it's possible, as you know. So over here we need to come back with the king to c2, but now we are going to protect the knight as black with the bishop c4. So it's white to play again. Let's say we advance the pawn. Let's say we go to f4. But now we are going to be able to remove the king as black, and so next move is going to be a queen, so forcing the play on white to sacrifice, and in the end, black still keeps the two light pieces against the pawn. So this is a win for black, so not an option for us. So this was a bit on the details, because over here, of course, we can't go with the knight d3. We just grab the knight, and then because the other pawn is pinned, it's very easy to keep the draw. Black goes with the knight checking us, so we move the king back to c1. Of course, coming back to e1, it's just going to be a repetition of the position, which is good for white, that it's only searching for a draw. But of course, over here, we are going to see black to check with the bishop, so forcing the king to go to b3, and now black plays knight d2, check. Again, another minute, pause if you need more. What is the correct move here for white? And the correct move over here is to accept the sacrifice because, okay, we are not pinning the pawn anymore, but the pawn also can't advance because the bishop is at the moment blocking our king, so probably we will need to face something like a check from the bishop in one side or the other side. We are going to cover that, but first let's see what happens if we move to the wrong side to king a3. Big blunder. What happens is the knight just checks the king, so the king is forced to play again. Now we are going to check the king again, but with the bishop. The king is forced another time to move, and of course, over here, it's not possible anymore to win. We are just checking with the knight on a3. The king moves away, and because we are now facing this situation, we are able to see that it's forced. We are going to lose this one. So the correct one is to accept the knight sacrifice, and of course now it's black to play, and black goes with bishop a2 check. So another minute. Pause if you need more. What is the correct move now for white? And before looking until the end of this one, let's see what happens if the bishop checks from c2. Notice that if the king accepts, then we are going to see a queen with check. And if the king goes to the side, well, if we promote for a queen, it doesn't work because we simply check it. So the queen is forced to sacrifice, we take it, and black will just remain with the bishop, so it's impossible to defeat white. But over here, black has the option to promote to a knight, but this doesn't also win for black because we just moved to b4. We need to be precise, of course. And when the knight takes our bishop, now we are attacking both light pieces, and only one will survive if the king comes for the sides, for example. And with just one light piece, it's impossible for white to lose anymore. So over here, the challenge is a bit different because you need to find that going to the same idea, going to a3 doesn't work because, again, it will promote to a knight, but of course, we are not going to be on time, and black will keep the two light pieces and go for a win from here. So the correct move when we are faced with the challenge of choosing where to go, of course, we can't go to c2 because otherwise black promotes with a queen and checks, so not being able to go with the bishop to save the day. So we need to come to the brilliant, of course, correct one, precise one, king a4. Because, of course, if the queen now promotes, it's going to be easy. We just check. So notice that the queen now needs to sacrifice, and over here we are just facing a draw. And of course, if it promotes for other thing, let's say for a knight, it's not enough because we still keep the bishop. So we are able to do something like this and keep the game alive until the end. It will be a draw, of course, for sure. So over here, the king goes, and black tries a last resource. It tries to sacrifice the bishop. Of course, if we accept the bishop, then black just promotes with check. But of course, it's easy to see that going now to a3, it's different because if it promotes to the knight, if the pawn promotes to the knight, checking, we just grab the bishop. Okay, we lose our bishop, but black won't be able to checkmate us with just the knight. So, of course, black tries to go with the queen, but we already know that over here we can check the king, forcing the queen to block, and notice how fun it is. We not only finish with a draw, but with a stalemate draw where it's black unable to move. Okay, hope you have enjoyed this one. I don't think it's so hard as pronouncing the name of the composers, and as always, I catch you up with future videos. Bye bye and keep checking.